What's up? Welcome in to Under the Hood with Jonthan Hood. Thank you so much for downloading the podcast and checking us out on YouTube, youtube.com. Please like, share, subscribe, comment to everything we do on Under the Hood with Jonthan Hood. We got a very special guest. We have a WWE legend that's going to join us. That is a huge Chicago Bears fan. It is the great D'Lo Brown. He's going to join us here coming up momentarily. Hey, continue to support the channel. We are growing on YouTube. Also, for those listening on the podcast as well, we're growing there as well because of you. Thank you so much for liking and sharing and subscribing and commenting to everything we do here on Under the Hood with Jonthan Hood. We've got merchandise, by the way. It's the link that is in the bio of this podcast. We have got mugs and we've got T-shirts and we have got hoodies as well. And we've got so many other things that we are putting together for our merchandise. Make sure you check out the merchandise store that's available also in the link of our podcast as always. It's springtime. Going to be turning summertime, so why not represent the show that gives you the most, the podcast that you have connected to, Under the Hood with Jonthan Hood. We're going to talk about the Bears and the Bears draft, some interesting things on the Cap and J Hood morning show, weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. Central on ESPN 1000 and streaming on the ESPN Chicago app. We're talking about the 2027 Chicago Bears on the show last couple of days. Was this draft tailored toward the future of the Bears or the now for the Bears? I know how you might feel, and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, if I'm a Bears fan, you win the NFC North, you're this close to getting to the Super Bowl, you want more. You want to be able to take another step or two or three. So I'm all for that. Some of these choices I thought late in the draft was kind of for the future of the team, but I want the Bears to be able to be the best team that they can be for the upcoming season because we had a hell of a ride, didn't we? With that Chicago Bears team, I mean, for where it started to all the unbelievable throws that we'll never forget, all the amazing plays that the defense made in that secondary, opportunistic, and Ben Johnson he's got his jaw out there, and he's working with Caleb Williams, and he's doing the best he can to be able to right the ship for this Bears team. It was so much fun. Well, I don't want to go sideways, and I don't want to go backwards when it comes to this Bears team. So we will talk to D'Lo Brown about that, and also his journey at WrestleMania week. You know, he lives in Vegas, and so that's where WrestleMania took place. There was a lot of controversy around the WWE being in Las Vegas, trying to get tickets sold and all this other stuff. And so we're going to talk to D'Lo Brown about that and also some wrestling stuff with the great D'Lo Brown, all part of the mix right here on Under the Hood with Jonthan Hood. Under the Hood brought to you by Ankin Law. I saw Howard Ankin today, 3126 million. Howard Ankin. For injury law made personal, put that number in phone just in case you need it. You have something at work, something happens, slip and fall, kind of accidents. Make sure that you reach out to Howard Ankin at Ankin Law, 3126 million for the great Howard Ankin. Sign my ball. And there he is, folks. He is your favorite WWE Eurocontinental champion. He's the number one Bears fan that I know. It's your friend and mine. It is the legendary D'Lo Brown joining us here on Under the Hood with Jonthan Hood.
Howard Ankin, my guy. That's my guy.
Yes.
That's my guy.
If you're in Chicago, you know where to find Howard Ankin, right?
I know. What's going on, E? How you been? What's going on? Talk to me, man.
Well, I want to talk to you about a number of things, but first, I want to get your thoughts about our Chicago Bears because the draft is come and gone, and I just want to get your reaction to what the Bears did. What did you think of everything the Bears did on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday?
Is it possible, and this past draft, it reminds me a lot of, I don't know, my first marriage, because it was exciting and disappointing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So two things can be true simultaneously. In any other year, we had a pretty good draft.
Yeah.
You come away at two starters in the first two picks. You come away with a third rounder most people didn't think was going to be, we addressed needs. The problem is, we did not address the glaring hole that the entire league knows we have. And we addressed secondary in a way where now we have a strong secondary again. And I'm a firm believer that a great secondary isn't built from an average D-line. An average D-line can make a great secondary.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like our D-linemen getting coverage sacks. I want our secondary getting sacks from pressure, from errant throws, because you got a 300-pound defensive end pulling down the back end of a quarterback.
Right.
So Yes, it was a good draft, almost a great draft. I think years later you'll go, good pieces, good building block. But when you don't address D-line, particularly edge rush in free agency and or during the draft, and you triple down on offense, look, I ain't going to question Ben Johnson. The man rekindled my love for my beloved here. So I'm in Ben Johnson, I trust. And, and I'm not a defensive coordinator, and I don't play one on TV.
Yeah.
But Ray Charles could see we needed a rush edge.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no question about it. When you look at this draft, my thought on it on draft night and then afterwards is really think about it. I looked at it and I said, okay, I like Thieneman as a safety because you got to get faster in that spot. It's just that day two, man, that damn day two. Like Logan Jones is for now and the future. Say Bradbury gets hurt. Well, Logan Jones has to slip right in there, and I got no problem with that. But the choice of Roush and Thomas, as you see right here in that third round, I said it is the equivalent of what Jim Cornette would say. Why would I go into a business with three hats on? A hat on a hat on a hat would look right. It would look weird, right? This is what you wrestling guys talk about all the time, right? So if I have Komet and I have Colston Loveland, why am I getting someone that could do what Steven Carlson can do?
Yeah, or I could pick up somebody off the street as my third tight end.
Yeah,
I think there was 7 rush edges that were taken in the third round, and we took and we didn't address it at all. Now maybe those guys were off the board, but if your board doesn't have a rush edge on it, you need to reevaluate your board. And if it doesn't have more than 1, if it doesn't have 5 or 6, you really need to reevaluate your scouting techniques.
This is what they're telling us. D'Lo, they're saying that, well, because of last year, they are relying on the front 4 that was ineffective a lot last year, and Sweat, Dexter, Jarrett, and Adingbo. They're also telling you that Shamar Turner and Austin Booker are going to be better. And also, Turner getting a chance to play, he'll be healthy, and they're telling you that Austin Booker is going to take a step. And the first thing I was told is, well, we're going to coach him up. And I was like, that's some bullshit. Like, you don't tell veterans you're going to coach them up. They just have to produce. It's not coaching them up. I mean, you get younger at that spot, even if they're not starting. You get younger at that spot and get them in the pipeline. And so you get them going. And I just thought that was a bad excuse. And I just think that as you improved a lot on your depth chart, you fell short on trying to improve on your defensive line, which is very important, by the way, because it's football.
I am not a firm believer in. I think Austin Booker is going to take a quantum leap. Yes, he's raw, but I think he's going to improve, but not where he's not going to become an all-pro deep rush edge right now. I think Montez Sweat, we got with him. We got 7 to 10 sacks. That's what he's going to be. The definition of insanity, Hoodie, is what?
Doing the same thing over and over again.
Expecting a different result. And what we're told is we're going to go into this season with the exact same D-line that did not produce any pressure last year. That's insanity to me.
Yeah. Which pick do you like, though? What do you think is best on this?
Oh, I like Thiedemann. I like that kid a lot. I like that. I think, first of all, he's a white safety. That brother can ball. Okay, he's a white safety that made the NFL. He can ball, and he's fast, and he can hit, and he puts his nose in there. He's gonna be good at running the ball. I've watched several films of him, and in like 6 different plays, he was lined up in like 6 different locations on the field.
Yeah.
Like that flexibility is going to give Allen great stuff to play with. So I love that pick. I would. Yeah.
You what?
I wish we'd got a rush edge. I
just think that is something where you can't tell me that, hey, we drafted for competition, but then fall short on the defensive line. You brought competition as your tight end room when you didn't need it. You know how many tight ends are on this roster? Do you know how many tight ends on this roster? I have the depth chart in front of me.
A quick guess, 4 or 5.
Yeah, just about damn near. Some won't even make the team, but it's just to me, I just thought that there's a lot that I do like about what the Bears did. It's just that that defensive line, they are banking on those guys producing. That's the plan.
I don't like that plan. I want change. We made a change on offense, and our running game picked up. We took care. We addressed O-line in last year's offseason in the draft. The glaring hole was defense this year. And again, maybe it's weird. Maybe I'm weird because I'm used to Bears playing, 19, 17 games, and now I got to get used to 54, 45 shootouts.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's what I got to get used to. But it's still, it's Chicago. We're the monsters of Midway, and defense is part of our DNA.
So Thieneman's gonna be John Lynch, right? That what we have here.
He better be. If not, it's a wasted a pick. He better be the second coming of John Lynch and Ronnie Lott's love child.
I didn't know Ronnie got out like that.
I don't put my business on blast, just between the boys here.
What are your expectations for Caleb Williams for this upcoming season? Because what we have, it is what it is. Like, there's not going to be much movement. You know who the moving parts are on this football team. So what's your expectations for the offense based on all the magic we had last year?
Year 3 in the league, year 2 in this offense, I expect nothing less than 4,000 yards and 35 touchdowns. Done. Whatever Caleb he needs to hit over 4,000 this year, and he needs 35 touchdowns. He's a good guy, not turning the ball over. He doesn't throw many interceptions, so I don't expect those to get above 5 or 6. But he's got to have 4,035.
For the record, Loveland Komet, Sam Roush, Nick Kalinick, Quadre Ishmael, and I think that's a legacy, by the way. We have an Ishmael on the team. Do you know that? Deep in the roster?
I haven't seen that many tight ends since I've worked at Cheetahs in Vegas.
Hayden Large and Stephen Carlson are all on the team as tight ends. A lot of tight ends, man. There's a lot.
I haven't seen that many in a long time.
Not in jeans. They're actually in football.
Not in jeans, bro. Not in jeans. Just saying.
And so your lofty expectations for Caleb seems to make sense because of how many different weapons he has. There's only one football, D'Lo Brown, and there's
only one football.
Is it so? Adunze Burton, Jade Walker, Cleve Raymond.
Yep.
And so now you have 3 tight ends, 2 that's going to get the football actually with Komet and Loveland.
Yep.
And probably who knows who else to get on the scrap heap, but you have plenty like last year to be able to really get the offense going.
You got to hand the ball off a couple times too. So
yeah,
you got to hand the ball off. So it's an embarrassment of riches, the amount of talent that is now on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah. That's why I say it's got to be 4,000 yards or bust. Like, the expectations now are here because of all the weapons that are around Caleb, because of keep reinforcing the offensive line. It's on Caleb to sink or swim now. And it's year 3. He's got to make that quantum leap if he wants to get into that superstar threshold of a quarterback. Now it's time to make moves in the league. Took the league by storm last year. I think he can become the face of the NFL because he's a good-looking dude who's fun-loving and makes great plays. That's what the league wants to embrace. And you give him the skills and you get him 10, 11 wins, the league is going to wrap their arms around Caleb Williams, and Madison Avenue is not going to let him go.
That is correct, sir. That is correct. You are Chicago Bears quarterback. There's a big spotlight on you based on what you did last year. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun for him this year.
You're the 3rd largest market in the league. You're a team that has not won in 40 years. Like, it is set up for him to not only be the king of Chicago, but the king of the NFL.
How many Fernando Mendoza posters around Henderson, around Vegas? Have you seen any yet? Has any?
It's right next to Jesus in the terms of pictures that I see of Mendoza in the city.
Really? Really?
They have anointed this kid as, now they don't believe he's going to play next year. He's going to sit a year. I think he plays next year because Kirk Cousins, well, quite frankly, has done only one good thing, and that's collecting paychecks. Correct. So I believe Mendoza plays next year, and I think I think he'll do well. It's not the Big 12, so you're not gonna have slow ass D-backs out there chasing around, fast ass running backs. But we'll see.
Yes. Yes.
I don't think he's gonna come in and set the league on fire, but I think he'll do well.
So based on what we're talking about here, you have a lot of great expectations for the Bears offense, but it's wait and see for the defense based on what you've seen, right?
It's
The line.
It's lock the seatbelt in and grab the old spit handle, and let's see where we are after 17 weeks.
That makes sense. It makes sense. I just don't want the Bears to go backwards or sideways. Because right now, Minnesota's in a good spot, D'Lo, where like you may not be the biggest, Kyler Murray fan. Point is, though, is that they was looking for a quarterback, and that's an upgrade from McCarthy. So
absolutely. You've seen Kyler Murray. When he's in a good system, he can produce. He's got one of the best receivers in the game out there, a good offensive line, a great running game. Like that team was set up to win last year. The only problem was JJ McCarthy. So I think they're going to be the much improved team. I think Detroit has a chip on their shoulder because they don't want to regress back to where they were, and they don't want to become the woeful Lions again. They don't want to become the kitty cats. They want to stay where they are. When you get used to winning, that's a plate that becomes an addictive drug. And then Green Bay is going to be Green Bay. They're never going to be good. They're just going to play us well.
Yeah.
So the hell with them.
It's always going to be tough because they're going to be they're looking their chops too now because they were embarrassed last year.
Yeah, they can, and I've already seen several prognosticators. They've already circled 2 Bear wins this year, and I'm like, you've lost 5 in a row. Now you have 2 Bears wins circled in a row. Come on, bro. Come on.
Okay, so I'll flip it from their standpoint. They're saying, okay, outside the magic, can you just straight up and beat us? And a win's a win. You take it. But can the Bears be able to get off to quicker starts, which is a key for this upcoming season? Not the fourth quarter. I'm talking about like there's only one time this past season where they took the lead in the first drive. That's got to be better.
Hold on, that was the Philly game. That was when they walked Philly and stomped them dry, which I love.
Smashed that ass. They smashed it.
They walked Philly.
Yes. Philly fan,
we need to, in that first 15 scripted plays, you need to get out there and establish something. We can't be miserable for 3.5 quarters and then think you're going to be the top team in the league playing for 7 minutes trying to make the comeback. It's not going to work. And the magic we had, that's not something you can count on every year. Just like turnovers. You can't pencil in 35, 40 turnovers every year. That doesn't work. That's not how the NFL works. So the fourth quarter comebacks, I don't expect those next year. I hope they happen, but I'd rather get a situation where by halftime, you and I are clicking on the other games to see what's going on.
Yeah, that is definitely the hope. I'd like to talk to you about your WrestleMania week. I need to know all the details. But first, if I'm not mistaken, I might have turned on a channel. I saw something called the Clusterfuck. And I feel like I might have seen a D'Lo Brown who sandbags me all the time. Like, yeah, Hoodie, they got to pay me a bag of money. Yeah, I'm not so sure. And I saw ground and pound D'Lo Brown get the job done. Did I not see that? Or is that a doppelganger?
That was my cousin. That was my cousin.
No, it was
That's my cousin.
No, you know what the hell you were doing. What? Could you explain that? I thought you were done.
It was one of those things where I had an opportunity to help younger talent by not only going out there and explaining it to them, but showing them as well. And I kept a very limited amount of what I did in the ring.
Yes.
And I was not in there for a long time. I was in there for a good time. And just did enough where I, got the blood circulating and got out of there. But it's invaluable what the younger talent can get from that, and that's my goal.
Yes, you had to get that out of you, the older talent, to beat somebody's ass. That's what you just did. I saw what you did.
Stop exposing me. Just listen to the propaganda I'm putting down.
Oh, man. Gravity's not your friend. You would pound on people in there. I tell you that. You used to do it with a lot of grace, and you used to be a high flyer. It's ground and pound, D'Lo, now, boy. You are spiking dudes into the mat now.
The only high flying I do now is tomorrow afternoon when I get on American Airlines and I fly to Colorado. It's the only flying I do now.
That's
Um,
just ridiculous, man, what you did in there. It's like, oh, jeez.
you know, just you gotta take that and get it out every now and then. You gotta get it
Okay.
out.
D'Lo Brown, I'd like for you to tell the audience about your WrestleMania week. You have your book, you had your booking sheet in front of you. I mean, you did a lot that week.
I was all over between WrestleCon, Maple Leaf Pro, helping out Scott Demore with all the shows at the Palms, whether it be CMLL, Stardom, on and on, going to just making appearances and trying to be out there as much as possible. The only negative thing is we all got sick from it, but hey,
Yes.
it was WrestleMania week. We got to have fun.
Okay, so I'd like to talk to you about several of these companies you work with. So you
Yes.
produced for Maple Leaf Pro. You had the headset
Yes,
on.
sir.
Okay, you were producing for them. There's a lot of fans that still support what Scott does because of just the way TNA was under his umbrella. And then Maple Leaf Pro, like you bring a Mauro Ranallo in, that's a big name. You got Don Callis to commit. Holy shit, you got Don to commit. And there's a friendship there. If you get Don to commit, that's pretty good. And then working with them, what are your thoughts on the way that company's going? Because now they got a TV deal going, and people starting to like this product because it's just a little different than most.
Yeah, and I thank you for pointing it out. It's amazing the difference and how quickly this company has grown from an idea Scott had 2.5 years ago after leaving TNA to watching it become the first nationally broadcast Canadian wrestling company in 40 something years.
Yeah.
And I believe it gives an opportunity for a lot of talent to have matchups they normally wouldn't have because unlike a lot of companies after this past weekend, no names mentioned, we allow talents from other company to come in and wrestle. We encourage other talents to come in and wrestle to compete at the highest level and put on these dream matches that, quite frankly, the ones who benefit the most are the fans, the wrestling fans of what we do. And Maple Leaf is giving young wrestlers from Canada, United States, a place to go out there and display their skills at the highest level. And it's an alternative to other programming that's on there. And if you've not seen Maple Leaf, look at Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling on YouTube, or when we start up on TSN, please give us a follow. If you don't have VPN, that's how you get TSN. Shh, between you and I. You didn't hear me say that.
No.
And just give it a shot. It's we have great young talent that is not nationally known in America, but will be. And it's just a great opportunity to give again, talent opportunity to go out there and perform.
I like it because it kind of reminds me of TNA when they first started, kind of zigzagging between the old school and the new school, like telling you where the origins of NWA TNA started and then moving forward. I'm just fascinated by wrestling history, as you well know. So just having that grainy, like Jack Tunney family film, and I'm just like, so what is this? And then you see Ric Flair on there. I'm like, okay, so that is Maple Leaf Wrestling from back in the day, and they're allowed to show it, that old film, which is so great. And so I feel like I'm getting a history lesson, and then they're fast forwarding to where it is today. So I like both sides of that. I think that's interesting.
And one of the cool things about Maple Leaf too is, in the national product right now, we've got one company that's really wrestle heavy. We've got another product that's really entertainment heavy. At Maple Leaf, we're trying to bring that back to an even keel where it's good wrestling followed with entertainment and good storyline all together to create something a little different than what's currently being offered to the wrestling public.
So if I say Obafemi, you say,
"Oh, future world champ." Don't hold on. Don't make me do this. Don't make me. Hold on.
Uh-oh, are you gonna? Oh no, here we go. Let's go. He's a.
Don't make me do it.
Oh no!
When I see Obafemi hoodie, I said this a year ago. I've said it with you. I said when they finally decide to push Oba, and when he finally gets his enough experience level to be out there, he reminded me of Roman Reigns in 2012. When you looked at him, you're like, bro, when he gets it, he's gonna be the dude for a long time. Oba's got it, and I like the way they're booking him. They're not exposing him in 20-minute matches. They're getting Brock Lesnar and him, I think, won 8 minutes at WrestleMania. Their entrances combined were longer than the match. But what was accomplished in that match was a passing of the torch from one monster to another. and now Oba's on the track to be the dude. I can take next year. I have a feeling Braun Breaker, Obafemi world title, WrestleMania main event.
Whew, my God, man.
I'm calling that. I'm calling my shot right now.
The reason why I like this for Obafemi, D'Lo, is because this isn't the old days where Goldberg's got to do every house show and every TV, every Thunder, every Nitro, and then kind of build up that number of 135-0. Or it doesn't have to be Hogan coming off the AWA TV, coming into WWF, in a whirlwind, still had to go on the road before he beat the Sheik for the championship in '84. This is Obafemi just making TV appearances. Doesn't have to be on every Raw and SmackDown. The crowd's behind him. Like, I heard people that went to the Garden when WWE was in the Garden last was for Raw. They said they haven't heard anything like that since the 80s, that kind of roar. I'm like, I said, you bullshit. And I said, Steve Austin was that. I said, no. You don't understand. It's like when he came out, it was a sustained roar at the Garden. I said, well, then he's made. If it happened at the Garden, then it's all over then, right?
If the Garden anoints you, it's a done deal. And here's the thing. I love the formula, what they did with Oba. And it's wrestling 101. You created a commodity. You created a need for this commodity. And then you limit the exposure of this commodity to make the fans come out and see this commodity. You don't overexpose them. You don't put them out everywhere. And you don't put them in 20-minute matches. You put them out there in a quick promo. You give them nice short matches against quality opponents. And you create a star. And with his charisma and work and look, it's a recipe. It's gonna make the greatest freaking cake in the world. Like, it is an amazing recipe of what they're putting down right now.
So, do you think we could see Oba and Roman this year? SummerSlam in Minneapolis? Is that possible?
I think that's okay. I think that's too soon.
Okay.
That seems to me a little too soon because now you got to make a choice. Who am I going with? And if you let's say you put them in Survivor Series or SummerSlam together, you have to have a finish to that match. And the finish is going to hurt one or the other. So it's too soon to bring them together, in my opinion.
What about Oba and Cody? What about Cody Rhodes then?
Similar situation, but I think you could tease it.
Yeah.
But you don't want to put Cody in another position where people have to choose which babyface they like more because Cody loses in that.
Yes. Even
Cody
though
loses in that.
When we see Cody, when he starts getting guttural with his promo, you see his dad. When he starts getting real serious, and all of a sudden you see his dad like bubbling up from the surface, like, oh shit! Now he's into the character big time. It's interesting.
He's his father's son. He knows how to and when to invoke that emotion to get you riled up. He's Dusty's son.
D'Lo, since I've been watching wrestling since I was a kid, and I've seen every rivalry in a lot of different territories and got tapes to back it up from over the years. I'm watching in Fort Worth and post WrestleMania, the Bloodline taking over. We're going to get Jacob Fatu against Roman Reigns. I think it's a little early for Backlash, but this is what you look at that roster; it seems limited. So we get Jacob and Roman. This is all good. I guess I'm just overly impressed by these Tongans and Samoans and what you guys used to call Island Boys back in the day. How they've just taken over the TV. It's almost like, we have anything? All right, put the guys out there, and because they're going to entertain and it's going to be interesting. Well, how fascinated are you that this storyline of the Bloodline just continues through 4 years plus?
Less fascinated, more impressed. I mean, this is not long-term storytelling. This is, glacial storytelling because it's moving at a slow pace. Yeah. And it keeps reinventing itself because there's so many quality Samoans on the roster that can actually go. And when a company needs to lean back and rely on their talent, it just happens that half the talent in this case, are all from one family. And it's an amazing thing. Again, here's the thing. I think it's a little too soon for Roman and Jacob because, Roman is not putting him over. So that kind of hurts Jacob's momentum, in my opinion. I think there could have been another first opponent for Roman in his first world title defenses and then underneath keep building Jacob. But I'm not a booker and I don't play one on TV.
No, I understand. I totally understand. Some things are slow cook in WWE, and others are like, "Hey, get out there." It's strange how that works, right? So
there's slow cooking over here.
Yes.
And then it's like, Jacob, put him out there. Go. He's a heel. Turn him babyface. Go, 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 go.
It's interesting. So when we love music, and there's always different type of genres of music, and WWE plays their own music, and over here AEW plays their own music. It all depends the smaller stage or the bigger building or smaller building. It just depends on what kind of music you like. And I turn on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and I'm watching Darby Allin as the AEW champion, and I go, man, that's just a different stage. That's just it's doesn't mean it's wrong. What I'm saying is that they have put a line down the middle and say, this is who we are. That's who they are in WWE and other companies, but this is who we are. Darby Allin is heavyweight champion, defeating Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Did that surprise you when you saw the headline?
Yeah, not something I saw coming, but it's refreshing because he's different. One of my favorite lines I use while teaching all the time is, I think wrestling is like Baskin Robbins. There's 31 flavors. They're all ice cream and they're all good. And as you pointed out, AEW is strawberry, WWE is chocolate, TNA is vanilla. It is, but they're all great. They're all flavors. They're all ice cream. And I like when companies take their identity and that becomes their brand. And they're not mimicking what's on the other channel because, again, the people that win in this are the fans because now they have alternate versions of what they want to watch. It's like the multiverse. It's the same superheroes just performing differently and performing in different worlds. And I think that's kind of cool.
You had the headset on for CMLL too, right?
Yeah, I was in and around there. Yes, I didn't have the headset on. Well, I did, but I didn't.
You have a headset, one ear on and the other one off? What happened there?
One ear on and the other to the grindstone.
Okay, all right. So you're just an observer of what they were doing, right? You're just kind of looking and see. Okay.
Yeah, yes.
So what did you think of their talent? Because we talk about America, well, North America, there seems to be a rivalry too between AAA and CMLL as far as talent and trying to get eyeballs on the product. What do you think there?
Some of their talent is off the chart. Mystico is one of the coolest guys I've seen live in person. And Persephone, I've not seen her live. She had a match with Giselle Shaw that was off the charts. And it's like when it's easy to spot good talent.
Yeah.
She's really, really good talent.
I like that.
Yeah.
Where's my DVD player so I can have like a DVD like Mania weekend, so I can just roll that for about 6 hours because there's a lot of stuff that it's so much, man. You can't catch it all at one time.
It's a gluttony of riches in wrestling now. You and I grew up in a time when you had two channels and you had WWF on one and Georgia Championship on the other, and that was kind of it. And maybe you got the AWA on a clear day.
Yes. Yeah.
But now wrestling is so accessible. I mean, with this right here, I can watch New Japan in real time. I can watch All Japan in real time. I can watch any company in America or England, hell, Australia, if I choose to. And I think it's a great time to be a wrestling fan because it is at your fingertips if you want to watch it.
So which one of these companies are you getting back in the ring for your retirement match? Which one?
My cousin is in current negotiations with some people. Myself, personally, hell no.
So MLP, do we have that down? You'll be wrestling for Scott D'Amore, your last match.
No, I will be on headsets talking about people wrestling. That is my goal in life is to lend what I call the Velvet Hammer, my voice of destiny, and I like talking on the mic.
Okay, so you and Joe Dombrowski or something like that, right? You guys.
Yes, sir.
That's another guy, by the way. I need to hit him up because he's got some like this mysterious like IWA stuff. Have you seen like he's got this Eddie Einhorn like Ohio?
I got two DVDs in the office right now. I've got some lost matches of Flair. I've got some really cool stuff. Yes.
You do?
I'll take a picture of it later on, Hoodie, and send to you. He's got some really, I don't know where he's got this footage from. It is, I don't understand how it's not owned by a huge library, but he has it, and it's some pretty cool stuff.
So, like, I see. It's regional stuff that's no one else owns.
That slipped through the cracks.
Okay. Man, who had that single camera? No, it's part of their TV show then, right?
Or back in the day, it was a one camera shoot. Everything was a hard cam. So everything was a one camera shoot back in the day.
Okay, we need to negotiate some. If you got some rare flare footage, I need to see that.
If I had before we end this, after we end this, I'm gonna run into the office and grab it and show you a couple things that I got.
Shit, that's some good stuff, Tilo. Like, I love the rare stuff, man. You know,
dude, it's amazing what midnight sitting in your house alone and you got a DVD player and you're like, let's look at Flair from St. Louis.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yes.
That's some good stuff there.
Yes, sir.
You know why that was some good stuff? That was a boxing mat. That was a boxing mat. You could have broke your neck in that ring.
Yeah. If you notice why Flair bumps a certain way, because he bumped a lot in boxing rings back in the day.
That thing there in St. Louis, man. That's why. See, that's the learned. The eye, you see.
It was easier to bump in the parking lot at the Keel than it was in that ring.
I love it, man. And old Keel, when you start your company, you make sure that the fans dress up in suit and ties too, and the women have to wear dresses. Fine dining in St. Louis.
I want wrestling to go back to being a black tie affair.
I can't wait.
That was wrestling at the Chase and wrestling at the Keel.
I love that. You could hear like the pots and pans and like the silverware clicking off of the plates. I'm like, what is going on there? And you can see the Major D like serving the veal and all that, and just like the people cutting into the steak while they're watching wrestling. If people have not seen this, watch some of that St. Louis wrestling on YouTube. You can see the fans there, fine, well dressed, like they're going to the theater, right?
Mm-hmm. It was a night at the theater. That's literally what it was, and it was some of the best wrestling you'll ever find.
Actually, that's a good gimmick for Mania weekend. So the fans have to dress in suits and ties to get in. That would be amazing.
What? It would, yeah. I like that. I co-sign on that.
Yes, I think that'd be awesome. Women have to be able to wear sundresses or whatever, and they have to again dress well to go to the wrestling event.
It's like you're going to the Kentucky Derby.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
All right. So, I want to see the big hats and the seersucker suits. Let's go.
I'd dress for that. I will definitely.
I would too.
That. I think that's fun. I would actually. Too. I know that you are doing seminars and you've got a lot of stuff going on. Where can people find you on social?
You can find me on Insta at D'Lo Brown LFC. Or on Twitter, X, formerly Twitter, at D'Lo Brown 75. And I keep you up to date on everywhere I'm going. Show throwback clips from, days in the WWE and around the world. And just keeping everybody up to date on what I'm doing and where I'm going to be. So get on there. Hey, feel free to comment and ask me questions, because I'm very interactive, and you'll be surprised. I will shoot back on you and say, hey, it's this, or I like this. And I like to be, over the last year, I've gotten I've really upped my social game, because it's a tool that I wasn't really taking advantage of. And now I'm seeing the benefits of social media.
People love you, man. I'm glad you're out there more, so people can be able to reach out. So
I'm blessed that the wrestling world has embraced me and held on to me for so long. And I couldn't have dreamt of a better career back in, being a Maine black bear and thinking about, let's go to wrestling. I couldn't have dreamt of a better career.
Most dangerous CPA in the business. There he is, D'Lo Brown.
You can break your neck or do your taxes.
That's all good. I'm glad we got a chance to talk Bears and a little wrestling, but let's talk again soon, man. We got stuff to catch up on.
Always, Hoodie. Let's get around when OTA start and we kind of get a real feel of what this team is going to look like.
Oh, we're gonna find
Because
out.
I still have a hope and a dream. There's still some moves out there to be made, and I don't see them yet, but there's still some moves out there. There's a couple high end yearly rental pieces that are still out there we could probably acquire.
I think that's a possibility, especially on that defensive line, right?
Yes, sir.
Maybe the running back room too.
I think we need to upgrade the running back room. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah.
Main Black Bear, I appreciate your time, sir.
Hoodie, I love you. I appreciate you. Always thank you for being my heart and soul and connection back to Chicago. And I'm proud and honored to call you a friend.
Thank you, sir.